Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Sanctuary, a Starbase-centric game using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are three lovely individuals who will meet right in the moment. I just have some quick housekeeping notes, which the players are kind of already aware. We did end up changing the space lobster sharks to lobsterdons, so if we ever start talking about lobsterdons, you know what we're talking about. We also had a change with what was Ensign Zeha. We've now changed her to Ensign Zeva because that's just easier to say. Also, as a note, she is not a temporal agent because that's too far ahead in the future. She is part of the Temporal Integrity Commission, which is what we saw in the Relativity episode of Voyager. So she's 29th century. So I was close, I just didn't have the right terms. And I'm a stickler for that after somebody corrected me on my French. Anyways, let's get everybody introduced and we'll get started. Starting with Techno. Techno, who you playing and anything you want to shout out?
Someone correcting us in our French couldn't happen in this chat.
Nope.
Hello, everyone. I am Techno. I am playing Lieutenant Doctor Kiani Tell, a forcibly joined symbiote who is coming to terms with that. I just want to give a quick shout out to who do I want to give a quick shout out to? To Caspian, who has very helpfully named an NPC for us. He was able to do so because he's one of ELH's Patreons. So if you'd like to name an NPC, well, there you go. You know what to do.
Love it. And I see we're already starting with threat and momentum. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, thanks, chat.
Yeah. Arwen, what do you got going on?
I'm Arwen, and I am playing the Ariolo, former Starfleet Starbase designer, and now thrown out of his little safe designer bubble and into the real world of being a chief engineer. His name is Lieutenant Commander Oberon, and what do I have to shout out? I'm going to shout out language learners. All of you out there, I know we've been talking about good nature ribbing with the French. The French mistake. And I just wanted to say, through all this conversation, that I reminded myself that mistakes are a gift when you're learning languages. So don't worry about being perfect. I was once at a fancy event, dinner with there was a French diplomat there. And I was telling people that I was full, or at least that's what I thought I was telling people. And I was actually telling people I was pregnant. So mistakes happen. They help inform you if you can get over your ego. I know. And no one told me until the end of the night, which was even worse. So you just got to kind of try to laugh and smile and not take yourself so seriously. And if you can do that, you will go very far. That's more important, I think, than flashcards and learning grammar. If you can get over your ego, that is the way to go. And my good nature ribbing of ELH aside, it is very important to just embrace mistakes. So shout out to all the language learners out there.
I think Steve has an excellent point in chat. Technically, you were full of life and potential.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Steve.
Anyways, last but not least, Beam, what do you got going on?
Hi, I'm Bean_Goblin. I'm playing Commander Shuro, part-time pirate, part-time Starfleet officer, full-time in panic mode. And I would like to shout out Arwen, our excellent notekeeper, and congratulations on the pregnancy, Arwen.
I'm not even showing yet.
We just know.
It's just a glow.
It's just a glow.
There you go. All right, well, let's run that intro video, and then we'll get started proper. And welcome back. So, as is tradition for my Star Trek Adventures games, is I have the players do an opening log, and I believe Dr. Tell has that today, so please take it away.
Thank you. Chief Medical Officer's personal log, 1.3 weeks post-event. The Klingons have a saying, more of a curse, really, and I'll see if I can do it justice. Dasha Dajyin, I think. Klingon was never it's never been our speciality language or my speciality language. Whatever. The point is, this posting has been far more interesting than I ever imagined. Between devising ways to keep space sharks, colloquially named lobsterdons by the lower deck crews, from destroying what's left of the station, treating the last of the critically injured patients, meeting with the new command staff, and we've got a time-traveling Cameloid trying to stop Lieutenant Commander Oberon from sleeping in main engineering while he works on repairing the station structure. I've barely had time to acclimate to my new situation. Joining is supposed to be something you spend your life training to undergo, and it's something I had no interest in pursuing. I was so much more interested in medicine and helping others, and helping other joined Trill even. Just... Here I am, though, fighting off 7 lifetimes worth of memories, thoughts, feelings, preferences, even doing something as simple as trying to order myself a Tarkalian tea, which is Mina's favourite drink, if anyone was wondering. I can't even do that anymore, since the commander has put the station on emergency rations until Oberon either fixes or replaces the remaining fusion reactors, or we either find a renewable source of food, or something else. I don't know what at this point. I've suggested, though, that Cargo Bay 6, now it's no longer being used as a triage ward, perhaps we could convert it into a hydroponics bay. It won't feed the remaining crew fully, but it might help to stave off malnutrition, at least when supplemented with the ration bars. I mean, it would if we had anything to plant in them. I'm hopeful that the restored sensor grid can be put to that task before too long. I think there was a moon in this system that looked reasonably capable of supporting plant life. I can see Ensign Wallachy has just come into the sickbay again. He's been absolutely certain he's contracted denobulant gill burrowers for the last few days. I've run every conceivable test just to put his mind at ease, and still he insists. He's human. He doesn't even have gills. End log.
You may have 1 momentum for that lovely opening log, bringing you up to 2. So where I thought we'd begin is just a quick overview of how Starbase Sanctuary is doing. So if you need a reminder, last session, Oberon did the impossible and actually repaired fully the sensors of Starbase 4337. Over the break, we also were able to repair a little bit of structure. It's still very much in the orange, but it is no longer in the red, which makes a big difference because if they had taken a structure breach, no more Starbase. So now you could take a structure breach. Yay.
Yippee!
Now the other thing is actually something I'd like to handle in character. So we'll start in one of 2 locations, but I wanted to see if it's still going to be what it was last time. Bean, because you said that last time the senior staff was meeting on the Versailles for senior staff meetings. Is that still the case, or have you repurposed something on Sanctuary?
Unless we can, I would say on the Versailles, there's a plan to repurpose one of the bigger rooms into a command center, but that would require Oberon sacrificing engineers to fix. So for the meantime, until Oberon's in less of I need to fix everything mode, which everything is except sensors is fine, we'll be meeting on the Versailles.
Okay. In that case, what we'll say is you've already had your meeting with the 3 captains, the IKS Kot, captained by Klar, daughter of Kov, the OSV Malor, captained by Hamar, and the FCV Slet, captained by Galaba. You've had your conversation with them. They've been given their tasks, their daily stand-up. And really the only thing I think is worthy of note at this juncture with those 3 is that the Klingon ship is getting space worthy again. It needs like another week before it's really able to go out there. The Malore, same kind of thing. Their engine is being installed. Still some growing pains there. They've blown out EPS conduits every time they've turned the thing on, but they're dialing it in. And then the Slet has actually been able to do little forays out into the system, again, based on the fact you have a Lobsterdon net that is keeping you safe. But all that is to say is that once it is purely Starfleet individuals in the room, Senior Chief Waterby stands up and he kind of pulls up a pad, gestures in a way that sends a holographic display above the Versailles conference room table, and he begins explaining. Well, sirs, we finally be able to do proper scans of the system. Yay us. What I can tell you is that our star is an M3V red dwarf. Pretty small, all things considered. It's not even half the size of Sol. It's a quarter of Sol's mass, and it's 0.01 solar luminosity. So that thing is tiny and not putting off a lot of light. Planet 1, we've got a standard class D. Same thing with Planet 2. The planet we're orbiting, Planet 3, we finally be able to classify as a class Y, which means we're not going to be able to support life down there. But Planet 4 is where things start to get interesting. Planet 4, ice planet, still class D, but the moon of Planet 4 is class M. In fact, the computer has drawn parallels to Ryza without the weather and tectonic regulators. So we're dealing with swamps, we're dealing with rainforests, and we're dealing with earthquakes. So could be life there, could be something useful in terms of resources. Then we have the asteroid belt where your Lobsterdon net is, and then we have another class D ice planet, the second asteroid belt, and then we have another curiosity in a class L ice planet where it's got just enough atmosphere that you can survive on it, assuming you can get past the higher than normal gravity and needing triox injection every once in a while. And then finally we have a class J gas giant with double rings, which I just think is fun. I mean, double rings, that's twice as awesome. I like planets with rings.
Is the rings crossing, or is it like on top of each other?
Oh, here I actually have a nice holographic render for you. And yeah, it's actually in like an X formation.
Fascinating. That's indeed quite pretty.
Aesthetics aside, I'm assuming we're finding nothing in the way of life or civilization in the system.
Well, that's the interesting thing, sir, but I don't think I should explain it. I think our ensign should explain it. And at this, Ensign Zeva stands up and says, "Yes, hi, remember me, your Cameloid from the Intemporal Integrity Commission. Hello. Okay, I maybe
Hi,
cheated
it's
and
me,
used...
Omega from the Med Bay.
I maybe
Sorry.
cheated a little bit and enhanced the sensors of the station just a little bit beyond what they should. There is life. There are higher life forms on that moon that's around Planet 4. I wasn't able to tell if they were humanoid or what, but there's definitely higher intelligence, according to the sensors. And then the really interesting thing is that there is a repeating signal coming from Planet 6, that Class L. I can't really tell if it's an SOS, or I can't really tell if it's, sign of civilization, but it's repeating enough that it's not a natural phenomenon as far as I can tell.
Well, if it is potentially an S&S, we could take the Versailles out and see if there is a need for us to be over there. And also, as we go past, we can check the intelligent life on the moon to see if it's pre-warp or not. I would hope for our current situation that they're not pre-warp. Otherwise, I might have to mark the planet off as a no-go zone. But it seems that as long as neither of you are not pressingly needed in the station, I could use my command staff to go investigate Planet 6. Has anybody put forward any names to these planets?
And I think everybody looks at each other, and Waterby speaks up and says, "No, ma'am, we wanted to give that honor to you if you so wished."
All right, I'll have to think of some names. It's not exactly on top of my priority list. Come back to me in a sec, as I just like look at the planets and see if I can think of a name for them.
All right. So out of
Well,
character,
the good
just so...
news.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I walked over you. Go ahead.
Okay. All I was going to ask is, just for clarification, it sounds like Soshiro wants to take Oberon and Tell out. Was that correct?
Yes. To
Okay.
the as long as they have no pressing matters in the station.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't want to leave you out of the plot, okay?
No, I appreciate it, but like my organizational brain is just looking at all this orange and like the fact that my station, my beautiful station that I designed, could fall apart at any moment.
Oh, you know
Um,
what? I got an idea for you, Arwen. You're going on a resource finding mission to help get supplies to repair. Boom. There you go.
well, that's what I was going to say in character is, the good news is we have a variety of different planet types with different resources on each one.
Hmm.
So that's great, which we sorely need. I mean, we could even use things like methane and ammonia and things like that. Whatever the ice is made of. Not to mention what's on Class M, but I'll let our life sciences specialist, take the lead on that one.
I've already renamed
Well,
all
I
the
mean,
planets.
obviously, I need to know what's on those planets before I can give a proper analysis. I mean, knowing there's a civilization there implies that there is edible food. Whether it's edible for us is another matter entirely. But we can
Okay.
obviously look into that. Yeah,
Food is the obvious one. I mean, people are being grumpy about starting to be grumpy on rations.
as long as people aren't dead, I don't care if they're grumpy. I don't know if that was. I don't think that was me. I think that may have been Keelan. Um, yeah, no. I mean, speaking as me, um, yeah, speaking as me, yeah, I hate rations too. I'm with everybody else. The sooner we get off them, the better. Um, but that doesn't mean we're going to find anything better. I mean, Voyager subsisted off Leola route, and you know how much they hated that. So let's pray we find something better than that.
I was about to say, I hope he finds the better than Lulu. I have heard horror stories of it.
Hmm.
And also their chef's cooking.
If you can call it that.
I heard it disabled the ship beforehand. Multiple times, in fact.
Uh, Possibly. I haven't looked into the
Cooking.
Voyager logs that much outside of, mandatory reading at the academy. But I think there was something about cheese, or the cook had fleas, or something like that. There was a lot going on in those 7 years.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, so as well as going to check the sixth planet, we have
Actually, Commander, you've just given me a thought that maybe we ought to extend the Voyager logs as mandatory reading to everybody, because we're right now in a very similar situation. It might be that there are some lessons we can learn from in there.
So are you wanting me to suddenly prioritize the computer repairs because we still don't have access to extended library computers?
let's wait until the structure of the station looks less like Swiss cheese at the moment.
I agree. It's not a priority in the slightest. But when we do have computer control back, it might be worth recommending that people read the archives.
And Zeva speaks up and says, "About that, Commander, ma'am, is your wish still to pursue a modification or some kind of creation inspired by the Pathfinder project? I remember you mentioning that before."
Yes, well, that's pretty much a long-term goal. It's the only thing that I could think would have the communication range to talk back to Starfleet. And even if they can't do anything to help us immediate, having them know that we're here is both a morale boost and potentially even if we just share information.
Well, I've got good news and bad news as much as I can say being from the 29th century. The good news is that, yeah, we can easily recreate the Pathfinder project, the Midas array that sends the signal. The problem is there's only one way to do it.
I believe you need a black hole, but I'm neither a scientist or an engineer.
You're actually correct, ma'am. You need a quantum singularity, which means we either have to generate one or we have to use the one in the black room.
And that would have to be fully integrated with the station for this to work, I'm guessing.
Hence the bad news.
Another bridge we'll have to cross when we get to it. However, we're still miles down the road at the moment.
Well, maybe
Oh,
we're
and
running
I've
some
made.
Romulans out here. You never know. Romulans, they show up when you least expect them.
That's it. I'm activating the tachyon detection grid.
Chief Bobby, check that the any Romulans haven't stowed away on the station.
Yes, I would
Waterby
like to
pulls.
make a reveal major action right now.
Oberon is the secret Romulan. We've already figured it out. Oh, Lord. No, but Waterby actually does pull up a pad and run a quick sensor scan. Sir, I can confirm that we only have Vulcans aboard the station, no Romulans.
Okay, good.
I mean, that's what they'd want you to think.
Hmm.
I'm scanning
However,
Dr. Tell
I've
now. Dr. Tell, and he squints at the pad. Dr. Tell is Trill.
yes, I am. If the slug in my belly didn't give it away, then surely the spots did. Just to put that particular note to rest, I was speaking in jest. Obviously, every crew member has undergone a physical when they come on board, and then periodically. I haven't done one since we were thrown into this new galaxy, but the records are, well, they're on record, and one of me did many of those examinations ourselves. Pronouns are hard. The point is, I'm pretty sure that none of the Vulcans are Romulans. There would be very obvious tells in their DNA and their genetic makeup, but they aren't present.
Normal paranoia about Romulans aside, I believe that we have a mission to get to, and I've already renamed one of the planets. I'm going to leave the floor open that if anybody else wishes to rename any of the planets.
So
Which planet did you rename, sir?
The last one I named after my family's house, Hightel.
How do you spell it? Oh, is it Hightel like the game?
I already done it. Yeah, I've already put it in the thing. I can type it in.
Yeah, put it in chat
well.
for me because I can't pull up journals while we're streaming. And this was
Fair
which
enough.
planet?
The most pretty one, which is the 7th, because my character doesn't have any degree of vanity at all.
Okay. All right. I will make a note in my notes. Nice. All right. So, my next question is, with you all going exploring in the Versailles, where are you going first? Are you going to start at the beginning and work your way up? Are you going to go straight for the Class M? Are you going to brave going beyond the Shark Net or the Lobsterdon Net to go check out Planet 6? Where are we going?
I mean, my vote's in for the Class M moon. But but it's not a voting system, but that's my vote.
We can move three-dimensionally. We can give in spite of all the plots of Lower Decks and other shows, we can take the long way around the asteroid belt, and the planets do orbit, I mean, so Planet 6 doesn't necessarily mean it is all of a sudden right behind, the Lobsterdons. Just want to throw that out there, unless you want to put that to make it so.
Talking absolute nonsense.
Spending
Next, you're going to tell me that the solar system isn't just on a completely flat plane.
Yeah, and we don't have to line up perfectly when encountering other ships. We have to, we can
I'm
go
spending
up
2
or down.
Fred because it's funny that Class 6 is definitely on the wrong side of the Shark Net.
Gosh darn it. I'd say that we make a quick pass the moon and then head to Planet 6 because it may be a distress call. That's my only because it's potentially a distress call. It may have been there for ages, it may be long dead, but there's a chance that somebody's stranded on that planet, then it's our duty as Federation officers to go check it as soon as possible. But we can make a quick scan the asteroid belt and Planet 6 for things we need and to make a more detailed scan to see if they're pre-warp or post-warp. Though if they are post-warp, we could try and hail them as we go by. Nothing stopping us from saying a quick chat and saying hello. So
I'm in
Has
agreement with that.
Has anyone done an analysis on the signal?
No, not yet. If somebody
Nope,
wants
nobody
to, we
has
can
done
make
an
it a roll.
analysis yet. I mean, Ensign Zeva, is that how I pronounce her name?
Yeah, Zeva, sir. Sorry, was still dealing with some temporal fatigue. It's not Zeha, it's Zeva. Sorry about that.
Say that. That's all right, Ensign. You looked into the signal a little bit, haven't you? Or was
I mean, I looked
the
into it a
moon?
little bit, ma'am, but I am not a signals expert.
Very well. Well, yes, if somebody could look into that signal, that'd be wonderful.
All right, so mechanics wise, here's what you're looking at. You're looking at an insight or reason plus con at a difficulty of 3. The Versailles will assist you with a computers and communications.
Reason con, I would be rolling an
Oh, wait,
11, and I don't.
communications and science, sorry.
Uh, and I don't think I got any focuses for that. So if somebody can beat 11,
Uh, Reason 11, con 2.
So 13.
Hmm.
Same for me. Oh
I'll
no,
get
not
the.
actually not same for me. I think it's up to our doctor.
Communications sensors, was it, ELH?
Communications and science.
Science. I will make a roll for the. Oh, if it's. Oh, no, it's not sensors. I was about to say if it was sensors, then we have advanced sensor suite, but we do not have advanced communication grids. The ship is very good. What's the
Yeah.
target number, by the way?
Difficulty of 3, so I just need to see one more from Dr. Tell.
Well, we'll give it a shot then. So,
Never tell Dr. Tell the odds.
Well, now you've jinxed it.
yeah, if this comes out with complications, guess who it's on.
What?
I'm just going to roll straight and see what happens.
2 successes, so you actually
Take
get
it.
momentum back for your trouble, bringing you up to 4. So here's the thing: is Dr. Tell, you're looking at the sensor scans and the communication logs and the signal analysis, etc., etc. And the best picture I can describe is, you know how in a lot of sci-fi shows, I know we're literally role playing in one, but you know how in a lot of sci-fi shows that were made in the early days of our existence that were like, oh yes, and by 2080, we'll have flying cars and everything will be solar punk and everything will be grand. So that's
The day of
actually
the
what you're
future
seeing.
tomorrow, the day of tomorrow today sort of aesthetic to it.
Yes. So what you're seeing is contemporary for a little bit farther along than what we are right now. So you're seeing that there are radio signals. You're seeing signs of fusion being generated, if not fusion itself. You're not seeing any warp, but you are seeing an extensive array of satellites around the planet, which are contributing to the signal, or around the moon, I should say. And it also looks like that they have entertainment you could watch right now if you really wanted to tap and decode the system. Or the signal, sorry.
I thought I was doing the signal from Planet 6.
Oh, I thought you were
Was
doing
I?
it from the moon.
Maybe I misunderstood.
No, I think
What?
no, there are 2 signals. You know what? I'll give it to you both. I'll give you both. It's my mistake. I'll give you both. That's the moon. The moon is exciting.
The moon is exciting.
Yeah.
But no warp
And
technology by the looks of it.
No warp technology.
Oh,
Planet
that's a massive red
6.
zone.
Planet 6, that L with the repeating signal, is definitely a artificial signal. It is not like a pulsar. It is not like a regular phenomenon. You're getting a bunch of garbled data that the computer is trying to process, but even with your number of successes, the signal's just too far degraded at this distance that it's a problem with the transmitter. It's not a problem with your systems. The transmitter is just not properly transmitting.
Um, I have a momentum question,
Mm-hmm.
if Technos wanted to spend it, that is the signal the same sort of signal as from the moon? Is this like some sort of lost expedition of theirs?
that's a good question. I'll do the momentum spend for that.
Okay, so you go down to 3 momentum. So the answer is no, they are completely separate except for the fusion reaction gradient, where you're looking at the signal type. And I guess the best way I could describe it is, imagine like a sine wave where, it goes up and down, it goes up and down, there's a frequency to it. And you compare that frequency coming from Planet 6 to the fusion reactions of Planet 4, Moon 1, We really need to add. We need to name these. We need to name these. You apply that signal, sign signal to the fusion reactors coming off of the moon. They are very similar. They're not 100%, but they are very similar.
Well,
Okay.
Commander, I mean, you can froze the holograms up on the table. As you can see, the data suggests at least a pre-warp civilization on the moon. Very interesting signals coming off of them. Some of them appear to be sort of entertainment broadcasts. Some of them appear to be sort of news broadcasts. All sorts of information being transmitted locally, though. Nothing external. And we can see here that there are spikes here indicating fusion generation, so they've at least advanced that far. And we're getting very similar spikes of data from the pulsing on Planet 6, which definitely seems to resemble the technology on the moon rather than be an it's not identical. So it's possible that this is some sort of failed expedition or first manned craft that they attempted to move out into their solar system with. Either way, well, I was about to say the Prime Directive applies, but I mean, it does as long as we enforce it. Is perhaps how I will phrase that particular point.
At the moment, I would like to try and keep the Prime Directive as intact as physically possible. However,
I agree with that, but
if they
yep.
are a technologically advanced society to be able to point telescopes into the sky, they're going to notice our entry.
They may know we're here already. Who knows what a disturbance was made when we entered the system.
And Elite, should we fire phasers last week?
Nope. All you did was create the Lobsterdon net, and no
But we have
phasers were
created
fired.
a large energy disturbance in their thing and probably affected what they see as a local animal, whether beneficially in their eyes or not, because they would have had to deal with things eating EM signals from their satellites.
I
So
mean,
it's probably
we would have made those decisions without knowing the consequences.
Yeah.
We maybe would have made different decisions had we known about this civilization, but we didn't. So what's done is done. However, the changes we made in our to the asteroid belt with our shark net, it's unlikely that they'd be able to trace it back to us, I'd say, with the level of sophistication I'm seeing here. Not impossible, but unlikely. And I would probably say, unless they were looking in our direction when we arrived, then, which they may have been, who knows what kind of build-up there may have been before we were deposited here. Maybe this was a phenomenon that was visible from their planet for weeks. I guess we just don't know. The point is we don't know. I suppose we're going to have to go and either tap into some of these broadcasts, maybe see if we're being mentioned at all, or perhaps avoid the planet entirely. I think those are kind of our options for the time being.
I will add, I know a lot of this is conjecture. At the same time, one additional piece of information is that we did put out a distress call, and it has not been answered by anybody, to my knowledge. So
whether if they have the ability to pick up subspace communications or even transmit to subspace communications. I
that
will
is a good
make
point too.
a quick tap on the communications array and try to pick up radio waves.
Okay. So you do pick up on radio waves. Do you want to literally tune into the broadcast is my question.
Anything which is directed at us.
Directly at you, nothing. In a general
the moment.
radiated sense from the moon, yes.
Is there... Oops, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, can we see what these people look like? Is there like visual information that's transmitted
these are
alongside
like
the audio?
TV signals.
Okay, cool. So when I threw up the holograms, would there have been like a smattering of that? Could there have been a smattering of that up there as well, so we'd get an idea of what these people look like?
I was just waiting for somebody to ask. Yes. So what you're seeing is what appears to be, and I'm just going to throw out a bunch of adjectives, which is the fun part for me. You're dealing with people that are big. We're talking 8-9 feet tall, based on head body ratio. They're all buff. They're all purple. They all have horns or other quote unquote demon like features. Maybe some of them have scales, other ones have multiple arms, and they actually come with a name. They are known as the Izion, and I will put that in chat so Arwen can tell me how I'm saying it wrong.
Wait, stop it. All right, I deserve this. Fine.
I've been naming the moons, and I will rename the moon that they live on to something a bit closer to the species name.
All right. Yes, I'm saying it's Izion, at least in my head, but if it needs to be said something else, we can always change it.
This is not from a particular language that I'm familiar with. I have no context to give you. As far as I'm concerned, Izion works just fine.
You don't know the language of the big 8 to 9 foot tall, all buff, purple horned alien race.
I mean, you had me at all buff and horned.
Well, I know that. Yeah, you just stopped paying attention at that point.
So, demon daddies and demon mommies, but no, I do not know this language.
Well, speaking of languages, would you like to actually listen in to one of their TV broadcasts?
Sure.
All right. So, what you are picking up on is some sort of a play, some sort of like a Shakespearean play, but alien. So you get something that sounds like Slavic accent, because that's the accent I'm going to use for these aliens, because it keeps it a little bit distinct. But the alien is going through the motions and says, "But you are not understanding. My love for you is like dying star, where if it is not rekindled, we will have to be apart." And then another individual, this time female, which I can't do, but still Slavic, says, "But you are not understanding. Even though you love for me is like dying star, my love for you is like the beating heart of a Tanag beast. And if you rip it out from me, I will only have one heart to live on." And then this just keeps going. This, as long as you want to listen, I will keep going, but for the sake of brevity, if they are just hamming it up.
I just tapped something to mute that. Fascinating. I presume cultural sciences, if we have a cultural science department, will be fascinated by all of this. I would like an ensign to be sifting through that for any keywords relating around warp field technology, aliens entering the solar system, anything pertains to us in any shape, form, of manner, just in case. Oh, those satellites. Are any of them telegraphic designed to look at the planet? Because if they point them this way, we may be spotted.
Well, chat wants me to continue the alien soap opera. I
mean, so do I, really. You know.
I mean, if you want, I may or may not have literally gone to a soap opera and alienized it.
Chat, who's in for basically an hour and a half of ELH doing all the voices in a telenovela.
This is a mutiny. The commander muted it, and you're playing the soap opera.
I've just hit record. I'll watch it later.
You play it in sick bay, and people are just either like loving or groaning as they just watch the soap opera.
All of you get better, or so God help me, I will play more of this.
No, and the worst part is, and if you've ever watched soap operas, you'll know this one. It's The Day of Our Lives. So if you've ever watched The Day of Our Lives...
Oh, I was hoping it would be more like a Spanish telenovela where people just fall down the stairs and there's like 26 different camera angles of it. And
isn't that... I might be culturally insensitive, but I thought that was a Bollywood thing.
Oh, it might be. Yeah, I might be getting it wrong.
Yes. So the Spanish dramas are the people getting slapped in the face after they found out they've cheated on them for the 12th time.
It's more of a combination of the two in this, I'm hoping. So
it is now.
It is now.
It's all of the tropes. Every single trope, mashing together.
Well, we know they have...
idea. This is called the
There's
Moon
some
of
universals,
Our Hearts.
right? Yes, Moon of Our Hearts. I love it.
Moon of Our Hearts.
You know, there's some universals here. We know they have emotions. We know they have relationships.
We know they have two hearts, at least.
We know they have two hearts. We know they have drama. So, learning some good stuff.
At this point, that's all we know.
After the immediate sifting of it, we could dispense it through the entirety crew, and at least that'll give them something to enjoy.
I just love the fact that I said, hey, here's an alien species. The next words are just, hey, you always want entertainment while you fix the broken station. Here you go, the moon of our hearts.
Hey, keep the communication array alive if you want to listen to your next soap opera episode.
It just pipes into everybody's comms while they're just like a Quark's advert on Deep Space Nine.
But I actually have some names for you as well. If since you tapped into the broadcast, I'm going to
Sure.
put all three into chat so you can get a name for them. So the first name you pick up is Al Kwok. It's more of a W sound on the Q is how I'm doing it. She her. She is one of the actresses in The Moon of Our Hearts, and she's the leading, like she is the lead. So she is the main character is how I'll put it. So, and apparently this is a very popular drama because like it's the equivalent of a how to put it. It's like Jack Black. You know, Jack Black, everybody likes Jack Black. You know, everybody tries to get him on a talk show. That level of fame kind of a thing. And the next person is Yid Her, or Yitter, perhaps. He, him. And he is a. What did I note for him? He is a politician. He seems to be either mid-level or close to the top. He's not like a president. He's not like a actual like representative of a country, but it looks like maybe he's the president, or not the president, the governor of like a state or like a small country. So not like, let me use this for the Europeans. He's not the governor or the president of Germany. He's like the governor of like a province in the Netherlands, if that makes any sense to anybody. The next thing is Mushno, or Musno, depending on how you want to say it with the Slavic. Is they are, and they use they them, they are a bit of an enigma. They are what appears to be a contemporary podcaster, where they are not like, I'm not going to name a literal podcaster in real life, but just imagine that they are somebody that is highly tuned into. Like, you know, this is somebody that people like to listen to. This is somebody that people like to get the opinion of. This is somebody who is shaping the culture of the Izon, or that, you know, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah. He's an influencer.
Influencer is a better word that I was struggling to find.
So yes, this is all deeply fascinating, and sadly, Doctor, we're not going to be doing an expedition there to see what foodstuffs we can get there. Not for the time being.
Well, that's the thing, because the whole thing you asked before I went on this tangent was, is anybody mentioning warp? Is anybody mentioning the station? And I am going to spend 2 threat that yes, and we'll just have Zeva do it because she's right here. Zeva says, ma'am, we do have a slight problem, and she throws it up on the holo screen. There is a very blurry, not 100% tell it's a station, but there is a shot from one of the Izon's satellites of the station.
Well, shit.
Seems like contamination has already happened.
I mean, in so much as they know something is there. Not in so much as, you know, we've been rumbled as aliens from another galaxy.
I mean, we could look like debris because they must have seen the ion storm that hit us. It went through their system, and they were probably protected by their ozone layer. So we could look like debris, but at some point they're going to, even with their more primitive technology, is going to notice ships flying in and out there. I'm also going to calm the captains now that I've thought about it, that this moon's off limits if they wish to keep docks there. I know only one ship's there, but primarily the Ferengi ship's up, and I don't want the Ferengis being first contact with these people. No.
If the Slet has already been out of or exploring the system, then presumably they're already aware of this culture. So yeah, I would perhaps It might be worth calling. First of all, they haven't mentioned this, which is a red flag in and of itself. So I would recommend calling the captain in and discussing this with her directly rather than trying to give orders by comm.
Yeah, I may have to talk to her directly about it. Okay, I will go do that. I want the ship ready to go check the planet that I have named. I have forgotten what I named it.
My notes say Shoklari.
Shoklari, um, to see if that is a distress call, what is happening there. And
Who
then
are
we
you?
will.
Who are you talking to? Me or because
I'm
Oberon?
talking to them. I'm talking to the room, Doctor.
Okay, it's just I don't have much to do in terms of getting the ship ready. The med bay is stocked and ready, so
Well, you also are chief science officer, so you'll have to get that ready as well.
I mean, I sure. Okay.
Because I am going to leave. I can never remember the Vulcan's name, but I'm going to leave her in command of the station.
The Vulcan name
Because
is Lieutenant Commander Preya.
leave Commander Preya in charge of the station in our absence.
Fine. I will start getting science ready somehow.
I'll send some ensigns your way that may know the department better than you.
Fine. Yep. Okay. Good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Meeting adjourned. I am heading towards that Ferengi.
All right. You run into the Ferengi just before she gets onto her vessel, and Glaba turns and says, "Ah, yes! Commander Shoshiro, what can I do for you?"
Captain, I believe we have some other topics to speak about. If you would like to come with me a second,
Well, of course. Where are we going?
just I just point to like one of the Prometheus cafes over there will do.
All right. You
One of
step
the
into
airlocks.
not a broom closet.
One of the airlocks. Mutiny. Dispose of the Ferengi captain. Replace them with one of my own. Excellent. No, I'm just going to a quiet section of the cafe so we can speak, but it's still like, you know, not I'm taking you into a dark corridor and interrogating you. Where is she? Levels of like,
A nice walk-in
it,
closet. I got you.
yeah. So, Captain, how is your exploration of the system going?
Oh, it's going quite well. We haven't been able to decipher the signals coming from either of the two planets of note, but we are ready to help in whatever needs necessary.
And by any chance, could I look at those sensor logs since just to verify our sensors to your sensors?
Of course, but I provided those in the meeting.
I have a quick look to see if there's a blank in it, and I spend a threat by using my racial ability. Is she hiding something?
Put it in chat so I know the specific wording of your talent slash
Uh,
species ability.
Never face value is its name, and
Okay.
once per scene, you can give a threat and ask a question like obtain information.
Got it. Okay, so I'll take that threat. No, actually, she is not lying. She is telling the truth that she has not been able to decipher the signals coming from either planet.
Okay, so my smile goes from I was not necessarily coming at a hardball, but there was a sort of like eerie pleasantness to my voice beforehand, which seems to eat away and goes, well, you see, we've recently discovered something. The people of that planet seem to be of a pre-warp civilization. As such, until further notice, they're a no-go fly zone until we figure out how to handle that.
Ah, well,
I'm
you're in luck because the rule of acquisition number 137, contamination of a lower species is prohibited unless it is profitable. And right now, it isn't profitable.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Captain, for your time. There's also a signal coming off number six, the sixth planet, which we are going to look into. Maybe a distress call. If you could focus your efforts maybe on the asteroid belt, if it doesn't put your crew in danger, for raw resources to get the station up and running.
Well, yes, actually, I had something for you. And she pulls out a pad and then swipes so it shows up on your pad. There are promising deuterium deposits within the second asteroid belt. The only problem is you have to get around the lobsterdons, because when we sent out some
Yes.
probes to scan, the lobsterdons went after the probes. So we're going to have to figure out some sort of bait to keep the lobsterdons at bay while we mine the deuterium.
So all of your probes inside the first belt have been unmolested by the lobsterdons?
Yes, they are on the other side of the net, and they leave us alone.
I see. Well, hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way, and if we do figure out a way, maybe if we remodulate the shields. But anyway, if we do figure out a way for you to be able to traverse out there safely, we will share that with you.
Very good.
All right then. Well, good talk, Captain.
Of
Good luck
course,
with the
anytime.
expedition.
As the rule of acquisition number 205 says, always get in with the boss.
Are these actually real acquisitions, or
I mean, they're
Never hurts
ELH
to suck up to the
acquisitions.
boss.
So.
never hurts to suck on the boss? Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the actual thing, so I just made one up. Maybe it's the Frankie rules of acquisition. They make
I
up
feel
half
like
of them.
she's using the revised one from ROM.
Oh God.
The
Wow.
revised rules of acquisition.
Yeah, it used to be something like 196, and now it's up to like 400, 600, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Half of them are without
they're all
baseball.
that's it. And there's going to be one which is just like, remember to always provide service with a smile.
Oh, that was so good.
That was good. That was actually very
That was
spot on.
good,
Yeah.
Techno.
But yeah, I'll because I did the vibe check and she passed the vibe check. I'm gonna let her on her way.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then just beep to the other members' crew. It seems like the Ferengi haven't messed around with the Azon yet, so we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. It's just like the commander just has like all these metaphorical bridges in front of her, and it's just like, eh.
At what point is it a bridge too far?
That's the question.
Oh, so this is Operation Market Gardener. Oh, excellent.
All right, so where are we going?
We're going to the sixth planet of Shokari to go investigate that signal.
Okay. So, one thing I am going to do immediately is because it has been established that they have at least seen your station. Again, they don't have blurry, they only have blurry sort of blobs, but they do see that you have appeared. I am going to make a roll for the eyes on here. And this is going to represent them spotting the Versailles, leaving the station and going somewhere else in the solar system. Now, they don't have a great roll here. They are literally shooting for a 6 or lower, but all they need is 1 success to spot you. So, what I'm going to say is that I'm going to spend 1 threat to give them 3 dice, and we'll just sort of see what happens.
Before you make that roll, Neil,
Yes.
I'm going to make a standing order of whoever's commanding of the station and whoever takes out the Versailles and later missions, though it may not become very important because it may happen right away, that if they initiate contact, we initiate contact back, because we're not going anywhere. We've already contaminated it. We might as well try to seem as friendly as possible.
Roger that. It has been noted. All right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, too late. The dice have been rolled.
Dice have been rolled, and that is a 5. That is the 1 success they needed. So I think whatever ensign, and I'm going to have to figure out a name for this ensign, but one of the ensigns that you put on cultural duty says, ma'am, we're leaving the station and we're showing up on their news channels. They are noticing that we are leaving.
Give the planet a wide berth to make sure that we don't look like we're in any way threatening to their planet. And do inform me if we do get a radio transmission from them.
There's a pause, and then ELH spends 2 threat.
Great.
Ma'am, they are sending a general signal in our direction.
Incredibly quick.
Is it
This
one
has
way or
suddenly become
two-way,
a first
ensign?
contact mission.
Yeah, it's suddenly become a first contact mission.
Well, that's the funny thing, ma'am, is it looks like it's a 2-way subspace, but it's a different kind of subspace frequency that, I mean, it's got some designs to it that remind me
it's subspace, ensign.
Yes, sorry, ma'am.
No, that's perfectly fine. That means the Prime Directive is thrown out because for those who are not aware of Trill history, the Trill invented subspace communications before they invented warp travel, which then the Federation deemed that as getting past the Prime Directive. So the Prime Directive no longer applies because they have subspace. And I know I'm inching my way from a court-martial, but that's besides the point. On screen, Ensign.
All right. So, despite what you were maybe expecting, like an actual like diplomat or an actual like supreme leader or minister or some lofty title, the Al Kwok individual, the actress, is actually the one on screen. And she says, attention, what might be alien vessel? Hello, are you receiving? Are you able to understand us? Hello?
Is this audio or visual?
It's both.
It's both. Hello, this is Captain Shishiro of the USS Versailles of the Federation. We are receiving you.
Well, you are quite interesting creature, especially those behind you. That is very interesting. And I have to ask for a logistics standpoint, is Oberon visible in the shot?
Yeah, I think it would be impossible for him not to be
Okay.
visible in the shot, considering how tall and how big he is.
I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to force it on you. So I
Yeah.
think Alquak kind of looks and says, "Oh, interesting. I was not aware that Garakons were. No, you cannot be a Grakon. You only have 2 arms. Grakons have 4 arms. Are you perhaps a subspecies of the Grakons?"
Hello, my name is Lieutenant Commander Oberon, and this is the first I have heard of this species.
Well, for a long time we were visited by the Grakons. They were interesting in setting up technological wonders for us. And we are just curious if you are here to engage in trade just like they were. I mean, they stopped coming to our planet, or sorry, our moon, about 20 years ago. We never figured out what happened to them, but it is how we are now having fusion. It is now how we are now talking. It is how we now have pictures of what I assume is a ship, station? Not really sure.
Very interesting. And he rears up just to honest. Technically, I have 6 appendages, at least, and then I rear up, so they can get more of a view of me. Do they look like me now?
Arwen, you have done something that necessitates a roll. I need you to give me a presence and security. Difficulty.
And if you fail, you're going to hit your head on the ceiling.
Well, I mean, that would be fun. Difficulty.
That's what the complications are going to be.
That's exactly what the complications are going to be. Difficulty of 2 here.
Okay, so whenever I do anything using control or presence, I have a feature, a species ability called All in Due Time, which I can reduce the difficulty task by 1.
Difficulty of 1.
Oh, nice. Does that include shooting things?
It does.
Includes anything using presence or control.
Wow.
All right. Okay. So I have no focuses. I have 2 die. I don't get an additional die for this, but the difficulty is 1. Let's see how this goes.
That's what I was expecting.
You bumped your head.
Do you want to reroll that?
Can I reroll that?
If you have a ways, you could, but I think it's just funny if you succeed and just have that 20.
I do not have a way to re-roll that because it has nothing to do with any of my talents.
Got it. All right, so the good news is that they do not respond negatively. In fact, Alquak's eyes kind of wide and says, "Oh, well, that is very Grakon-like. That is very interesting. However, don't rear up further," and then you hit your head on the ceiling.
Lieutenant Commander Oberon.
Every time.
These ships are smaller than some of the other Federation standards.
I'm just going to pull out a medical tricorder and just wave it.
But
no concussion this time, but...
For her part, Alquak is like, "Oh, so you are well versed in comedy as well. That is exciting. The Grakons were not versed in comedy. They were very, very, very grumpy people."
Very serious?
Very serious,
I know the type. No, but to back onto the course of why we're here, I don't know if you witnessed the Iron Storm, or we call them Iron Storms, that pass through your sector.
Oh yes, we experience those about once every 20 years. You know what, now that I think about it, maybe that's what happened to Grakon, is they got hit and maybe went down somewhere.
Well, we were dragged along with it unexpectedly and have ended up in your sector of space.
Oh, well, I guess welcome.
Thank you. We're currently traveling to what we've currently called as Shokari, the sixth planet within your solar system.
Oh, well, we haven't really named it. I mean, we really should, but Shokari is just as good a name as any.
You haven't named the planetoids in your sector system?
Well, it is a bit of how to say, a cultural thing, where when we give name to something, we begin developing culture for it. For example, my people are known as the Izon. We are the Izon people, we are the Izon Confederacy, and we are very proud people. But we are also, how to put it? And there's a moment where the universal translator kind of catches a little bit, and then it comes through. We are basically commune of artists, performers, sculptors. We are very artistic people.
Fascinating.
And
Is
on
that
that note, I loved you in Moon of Our Hearts.
You have seen my performance on Moon of Our Hearts.
Some of it, yes, I must say, very intriguing and very engaging. I intend to watch more of it.
Well,
we've
you're
only seen
you're in
about
for treat because we are thinking of including aliens in next episode.
Ah,
fascinating?
well, that's incredible timing.
So, is it common for actresses to have access to communications array?
Oh, right, I have to keep thinking I am not talking with eyes on people. So, in our society, those that make others happy have the most governmental control.
Oh my God, this is where podcasters get governmental control. Oh my God. Oh my God, the more likes you have, the more power you have. Oh no. I don't say that out loud, but
ELH is
yeah.
just chuckling.
There was an Orville episode all about this.
It's an incredibly unique method of governing. I suppose it's as, and she sort of thinks, I suppose it's as democratic as any, because I suppose as soon as somebody starts making people unhappy, then they are effectively ousted from government.
Yes, this might be getting in the weeds, but we used to be a narco-sinuous commune. Didn't really work. We had bi-weekly votes. It was a whole thing. But nowadays, voting and liking, I guess you could say, is compulsory. You are required to either like or dislike a person's performance, and it works out very well for us.
So people have to watch your entertainment show
No,
to
they
determine.
don't have to watch, but if they do watch, they have to provide feedback.
Oh, I see. Well,
May
Very
I ask, is the
interesting.
people watching this communication?
No, at the moment it's just me. Well, me and my three aides, who you might also recognize from the Moon of Our Hearts, but it's just us three at the moment, or four technically.
Well, if you are amenable to it, we would love to come over for a diplomatic meeting. Though we are a little bit underprepared considering the situation that we find ourselves in. But if you wish to for us to come over now, we can do so.
You know, there's only really the Grakons to go fall back on, but is there anything special we should be preparing?
Just be aware that we may need to scan any of your foodstuffs just to make sure our biology is the same. So do not be offended if we do that.
Okay, I can do that. And do you want Planet to know? Should we keep Planet in dark? I mean, we could do what the Izon people do, and we could just make a whole show about you. But again, this is new phenomenon. I thought I would ask.
How about we keep it private for now, and we can move from there.
Very good. How long will you be? Will you? Sorry. How long until you are here?
Anson, how long in half impulse does it take to get to the planet?
3 hours, ma'am.
3 hours.
Very good. I will have to move up a taping of my show, but that is okay. I can do taping later.
Very well. Could you give us coordinates of where you would like us to be?
Well, if I am coming up to meet you in one of the orbital lifts, you could go here. She sends the coordinates. Or if
We
you want to be landing the vessel, can your ship land?
We have
well,
vessels that can land.
it can land. We also have a technology that allows for meta transportation, so we can transport or beam to any location as long as there's no interfering signal.
Interesting. I have never heard of such technology.
Well, it's very convenient. We can obviously give you a demonstration if the commander allows.
Um, would you like to meet us on the surface of the planet, or would you like to meet us at the facility on your orbital left?
I think orbital lift is probably safest bet.
Very well. We shall beam over there then.
Very good. And you may already know this from the Moon of Our Hearts, but allow me to offer my thanks. And she does a thing with her 6 arms where it's kind of like the Wakanda salute where they kind of cross their arms and bow a little bit. It's kind of like that, but with like 6 arms.
Impressive.
And then the
Do we
transmission
do?
stops.
Oh, okay.
Doctor, just so you're aware on first contact protocols, we don't tell the free warp civilization about transporters.
I thought we agreed the Prime Directive didn't apply because of
True,
the
but we
subspace
didn't know if they were
communications.
aware of transporters yet.
True, but they would have found out at some point from us, especially if, I mean, there's plenty of instances of captains telling other cultures about the technology that we have.
Very well.
I will abide by your rules, Commander. I don't mean to overstep.
It's fine. I'm just ripping you, Doctor.
Okay.
But yeah, now we are not going to go investigate that signal. We're going to go do first contact. Yay, I'm so happy.
No, and I just want to be very clear. We changed because of that roll, because they got a 5. So I just want to be very clear on that. But Arwen, I think you were trying to say something or about to.
I was curious what Oberon is thinking about these Grakons, and if he remembers any time when one of the Ariolo city ships may have been lost or may have reported these species somehow.
That is an interesting question. Why don't you give me a reason and engineering? Because I figure you're approaching this from an engineering perspective.
Sure.
And it will be a difficulty of 2.
While Oberon's looking at that, I'm going to ask the doctor to see if they can find any mentions of Grakon, was it?
Yeah,
In
I
the
actually have
internet?
it spelled out. I'll put it in chat.
If that can be an assist to Arwen's thing, because they probably would have a Wikipedia page or the equivalent of in their internet. I mean, if it's public knowledge,
So,
Did I just roll a complication again?
you just rolled a
You did.
complication again.
I'm spending 1 momentum to re-roll that because it's an engineering one,
okay.
and I have my chief engineer roll, and I can do that.
Yep.
I think I can do that.
Sounds
Okay.
right to me.
All right.
I mean, surely
so
you
can
can't
I
get
just
another 20.
I can just click on that to re-roll, right? And just re-roll
The re-roll button,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay.
Well, I have good news. It's not a 20, but it is a 19. So you can succeed with a complication.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I guess-
Let's lean into the crazy. Why not? I've already bumped my
Right back
head.
where we were.
Am I going to trip and sprain my ankle now? Like when I'm what's going on?
Gonna get there, and Arwen's just gonna be in full body cast.
No, but, and I will put it in chat. So again, there's a record. Or you know what? Hold on. No, this doesn't go in chat. So you do get, because you check to see if the Izion had like a Wikipedia, and Oberon, you find the same data. The Grakons are a centaur-like species with 4 hooved legs and 4 arms. They are smaller than the Areolo, but they also are almost peacock-like, where they have vibrant colors throughout their hides. Where maybe they start one part is green, the next part's blue, and then it's purple, or maybe one part of them is a little bit more flare kind of a thing. But they definitely don't look like Areolo derivatives. Like there's enough differences that sure, if you had millennia, maybe there would be differences, but there's enough differences here that you're pretty sure it is not a city state that went missing.
Look how tiny they are.
Exactly.
Look how small they are. Look at they're multicolored. How can anyone take them seriously?
The complication is going to be I'm just going to take 2 threat.
Okay,
Thank
that
goodness.
works.
We don't need to get Oberon a med bay anytime soon.
Commander, before we go any further, I don't know if you noticed, but they mentioned that those ion storms sweep through their system every 20 years.
Yes.
So, unless we can, well, I mean, that puts at least a timescale on when we might be able to be returned, or at least thrown somewhere else. But
we have 2 courses of actions for that. Is either just protect ourselves from the storm in some manner, or ride the storm back to the Federation space. But that might be a 20-year journey.
This was to be my point. Is it sounds like we're going to have to prepare for a pretty lengthy stay, unless we can organize our own return trip somehow. That brings up the point that rations and ways of feeding and ourselves are going to be obviously imperative. We're going to need, and she sort of turns to Oberon for this, we're going to need those industrial replicators, I think, sooner than later, in order to support all of that. We're going to have to build so much on the station to support long-term habitation, which it wasn't really designed for.
Yes. Everything is a priority. Yes. Engineers hear this all the time.
Yeah. But I mean, if everything's a priority, nothing is. I'm just saying we need to be considerate of the fact, once the immediate emergency is over, that this changes our position quite significantly.
Luckily,
You are not wrong, Doctor.
From a food perspective, at least, we have a civilization which appreciates fine art, which we could use as a trade commodity to be able to get foodstuffs.
True, assuming those foodstuffs are not toxic to any member of our crew. Well, I mean, not any member of our crew. I'm sure we can work something out if there's one member of our crew with an intolerance. But, I mean, that's beside the point. We don't know, for example, whether, maybe their food is sulfur-based, or
even if we
use
have
some kind of silicon substrate that we can't ingest or something. We don't know at this point, is all I'm saying.
Even if we have to put the foodstuffs through the Versailles replicators and just turn the Versailles into a food processing plant for the interim, at least that would be of a benefit to the station.
This is true. More of a benefit, I think, in the long run would be obtaining parts or perhaps even a working fusion reactor from them to supplement our own power generation.
We'll see how this first meeting goes, Doctor.
I'm just putting ideas on the table, sir.
Of course.
I agree with the Doctor that we should have an agenda and have it agreed upon, or at least a rough idea, before we sit down with a new civilization.
Let's head off to the briefing room then. We seem to be just using that room almost constantly. I see it more than my quarters.
Which I've also been needing to talk to you about, sir. You really need to be taking your assigned rest periods.
When the station is in a fitter state than it is, Doctor.
No, that's not how medical directives work.
Just slips the rector I snuck into the other bridge.
I'm going to have to phaser that woman, I can tell, just to get her to lay down.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've worked without sleep.
It will be under my watch, so We will address
The
this.
briefing room, Doctor, before you assign me medically unfit for duty in front of the tire bridge.
I mean, that would be the best place to do it, but yes, to the meeting room.
Okay. So we head off to the meeting room.
Screen
And
wipe left. You're
Oberon
in the
and
briefing
the
room.
Doctor just reveals large lists of things that we need.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was asleep. What are we talking about?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, at least he's sleeping, she says meaningfully, looking at the commander.
More like forced pass out. But sure.
I mean, I'll take what I can get at this
Involuntary
point.
passing out. Yes.
No, the best way I can think of describe it is like, when you've been up till 2 in the morning, you have to be at work at 6, which means you have to wake up at 4. So you've had 2 hours of sleep, and then you get to work and the coffee machine's not working. So you also have a daily stand up as soon as you get there. So you're at the daily stand up and you're like, okay, look at them, nod, turn to them, look at them. Okay, I'm having troubles keeping awake. Nod a little bit more, pinch myself. Oh no, I'm falling asleep. What can I do here? I can't actually stand up. And I'm experiencing existential terror because if I make a scene, they're going to think I'm weird. Oh God, they're speaking to me. What were they telling me? Say something nice. And then you experience. Listen, that's happened like 20 times to me, so I know that existential horror well.
And I'm not wrong about that, right? Horses do sleep standing up.
They do, yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, not that my character is a horse, but I mean, they're comparable.
No,
So,
I mean, it's a horse stands up, a cow stands up, pigs, I think, stand up. I think.
Oh.
Could be wrong.
Wow.
It's just something with the knee. As long as they can lock the knee, you can sleep standing up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you're a 8-foot tall gorilla horse, so you can do whatever the hell you want, as far as I'm concerned.
Including not sleep, Doctor?
That was not an in character, but
horse around, and monkey business.
All right.
Thank
Meeting
you, Matthew.
time. We were just meetings on the station, meetings and dealing with issues and patching up things with duct tape. So, yes, the ideas put forward that having foodstuffs and maybe even a future action has plenty of good ideas. However, if we are to ask them for such things, we would have to provide them with something in return.
Maybe we need to put on a show for them.
I mean, failing that, we do have archives of entertainment data on board the station from a number of civilizations, which can be utilized either hollow or written or audio or video form. I'm sure if they're that into the arts, we also have, examples of sculptures and paintings and the like that we could probably present to them as well.
I've done a play or two as my time as an Orion captain. She just smirks herself thinking about the past.
Oh, I was looking forward to using my pastime.
What is your pastime?
The Ariolo guitar.
Oh.
The Etherear.
I'm trying to imagine how that works with you. Is it like I'm imagining like a bass, like a standing bass, but for you actually can hold it? At least that's how I'm imagining it.
I didn't really put a lot of thought into it, but I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, likewise, I've got prior knowledge from a former host of musical instruments, or one anyway, the Tyrrellian harp. But I mean, I don't think harp and whatever that instrument is would go well together.
It's music. Imagine the possibilities, Doctor.
I am, and I fear that I'll be having to treat people for their eardrums bleeding.
Something new may come out of it.
Quick question. Is it just the three of you, or is Waterby, Zeva, and other ensigns here? Is it just the three of you?
Yeah, sure. This isn't a serious meeting that we need to talk about the Black Room or anything.
All right. Well, Waterby speaks up and says, Sir, ma'ams, this was something I was going to bring up probably never, but I do play the saxophone.
Alto or
whatever
soprano or
whatever saxophone you throw at me, I'll play whichever kind you want.
You use Orion saxophones as well?
I mean, I have to modify the grip, but yeah.
Interesting, Wallaby. For a new side of you, I have yet to experience.
Stop flirting with Wallaby, sir.
Yes, I like you as a commander, ma'am, but we would never work together. Well, we would work together, but not as like a couple.
Quick, someone start recording this so we can use it as part of the soap opera.
Zeva
of our
actually
performance.
pulls up one of her tricorders and just starts recording on the
Delay
tricorder.
that.
Ensign, put that away.
Just hand on Zaver's iPad. Delay that order. No.
We have fun here.
But yes, besides for cultural exchange, what would be able to trade with them?
No, you misunderstand. I'm suggesting that we do trade that kind of material. That is our
Yes.
trade offering, not a cultural gift. Although it could be a cultural gift to start with, but
I mean, if they most likely they will take this as something of value, especially since they will be able to augment their own cultural database. But I would also like something in reserve, if something to fall back on to if for whatever
well,
reason.
I'm not suggesting we give it all to them up front. You know, it could be something that we parcel out in a trade agreement or whatever. You know, I mean, there's petraquads of data on the station. I'm sure that once we get the main computer up and running, we could draw on. I'm sure there's probably more than enough in the Versailles
Again, Doctor, I don't mean
bank.
necessarily about the quantity. I mean something else that we would be able to trade just in case.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that would depend, I suppose, on what they want or need.
Okay.
I mean, that's how these negotiations work, right? It's people working out what they need and agreeing terms.
No matter how advanced these people are and what technologies they have been given, that is definitely off the table. Any technological exchange is completely off the table for now, unless we see a significant higher cultural development than we have initially seen.
Just because they don't have warp drive doesn't mean they don't have another form of
FTL.
long distance FTL travel.
Yes.
I mean, all of which is true, but I mean, Commander, you're the one in charge. So I mean, you'd be setting the agenda for what we can and can't trade with them. So if you're saying technology is off the table, then well, that's your order, sir.
Of course. But I want suggestions from people. Besides for their various different artistic skills, which I'm quite happy if people are willing to be put forward.
I
got to keep rolling those 20s, so yeah, make me do a performance.
I think
Zeva
somehow hears the fourth wall and says, "Sir, maybe we can't give them entertainment, or we need an alternative to the entertainment. What if we literally give them instruments? What if we literally give them, like, I don't know, like dice? Do we know if they play dice? Do they play dice games? Do they role play?
Different board games, maybe.
Who would role play with dice? That sounds insane.
I've just occurred to me. Maybe they'll actually play a full game of Twilight Imperium with me.
No one has ever finished a game of Twilight Imperium in the history of the Federation, Ensign.
I know, but they could be the first.
They've got enough arms, I suppose.
How much free time do you think you'll have, Ensign?
Well, I mean Temporal Integrity Commission, but I can't really time... Okay, fair point, ma'am. I
knew a time joke would jump up at some point. I was just unprepared as for when.
Well, the time was now.
Isn't it always?
If the first size replicators will handle it, maybe creation of various different instruments from our various home planets.
Yeah, well, I mean that's certainly an option. In fact, again, it boils down to replication. If it's large enough that we can replicate it, and it's not a technology or some kind of cultural contaminant. I mean, that maybe is the line you need to draw here, ma'am, is what you consider to be a cultural contaminant, because even giving instruments could be seen in that way. We could be influencing an entirely new form of government because a new type of musical genre is born.
You have just made a valid point, because their entire thing is based off instruments. and music
or
and
anything that I believe her term was generates happiness.
yeah, and if we create a fad, would that affect their internal politics?
I mean, it very well could, though, could it not? I mean, at the moment, it's a soap actress who is in charge of their government.
I would like to point out that they have already been culturally contaminated by the Grakons, at least. And they have subspace technology, so they may have been in contact with other species of which we are unaware.
It's also worth pointing out that if we are to be here for a 20-year period, cultural contamination is almost a certainty at some point.
Waterby speaks up. There's also the consideration that instead of one of their people becoming the influencer of choice, we would gain power in their
I
government because it's our culture.
I was really hoping you wouldn't bring that up, Waterby, because that is a very valid and real concern.
We can make a point with the head actress that we do not wish to interact with local politics in that way. I do not know if they have such rules for that with interacting with other species, but we would have to make that point of contention that we do not wish to affect the local politics as much as possible.
I mean, I think it would have to be as much as possible. It's a certainty that we will, just again, based on how they seem to be generating their politics, or certainly electing, for want of a better term, their politicians.
Elach, I'm going
And
to look up two things.
Okay.
Is it united? Is it a united country?
They did say it was the Confederacy, so yes, they are
This was the
a
Confederacy.
global government of sorts.
Did they enact this reform of cultural happiness equals leadership before or after they were a unified country?
That you don't know. So that you're going to
Because,
have to blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to ask Alquak.
okay, because if it was before they united under a single flag, that means they would have already had precedent as part of their government that, foreign delegates have that affects local politics. Hopefully that is the case, because then they would have a precedent for that.
ELH is silent.
we also need to consider the possibility that is there a difference between cultural exchange and cultural contamination?
And on that note, we'll make this a two-parter.
Gosh darn it. It's just been a meeting this episode. All of it being a meeting.
Oh my gosh. It's time to this went so fast.
It did.
Wow.
It did. No, I was looking at the time. I'm like, I could fit in the first contact in 20 minutes, but that wouldn't be fun. So we'll just make it a two-parter. It's fine. But no, welcome to Star Trek, where I present interesting philosophical questions that maybe or may not resolve within 3 hours' time.
True. Can I just touch on one thing?
Yeah, what's up?
So there's lots of breaches,
Mhm.
and I would like to repair these breaches, but I don't want to just be like rolling for a half hour.
Mhm.
How do you want to approach this going forward? Do I get like one shot per episode or something? Per
We'll
live
do
stream?
it so that at least once per adventure. So if this is a two-part or three-part or whatever the adventure is, you then get downtime before the next adventure. And then that's where if Elich is thinking. So if you don't do any rolls, you repair one breach. So you get a breach for free.
Okay.
If you make a roll, which I'm going to have to think about how I want to handle this, but you make a roll, you can repair up to 3 breaches. So I'll have to think on difficulty and all that. But basically, it's at the end of every adventure. That way, it's not like instant repair, but there is progress forward, if that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, and I do have that repair team leader talent, which allows me to spend momentum to repair more breaches. But yeah, have a think on that, because I want to prepare breaches over time, but I don't want to interfere with the plot either.
Right. No, I think by the end of season 1, you'll have most of the breaches fixed, but there's still going to be some. Or at least as
I
far
do-
as I plan it.
Arwen
Anyway.
twitches. OCT activated. Must fix station.
Question, ELH.
Yeah, what's up?
With R1 having these repair downtimes,
Mm-hmm.
would the two other players have equal sort of downtime
Yes, valid. You
actions?
tell me what you want to accomplish during your downtime, and we'll make a note, and we'll make, if we need mechanics, we'll make mechanics.
Hmm. Can we, because Arwen had one before this adventure, would we be able to have one in retroactive, or is it just after the next adventure's done?
No, you raise a valid point. I'll leave it up to the players, and I guess I'll go in opposite order. So, Techno, would Dr. Tell have taken any personal time or done something significant when they weren't in triage mode?
I think in the last week, not really. There was, I alluded to in my log, there was a lot of people that still needed treatment and still needed work on. And I think outside of just being in her quarters and just trying to sort out the different voices in her head, probably not much more than that. As a side note, Kiani does like writing hollow novels, so maybe that could be something that she does in her spare time going forward. But at the moment, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Same question to Shoshiro. Shoshiro, for that week, did you do anything important that would be of note or need a mechanic?
So through the entirety of that week, she would probably be restructuring the command structure because at the moment we have like about four people in the senior staff, a big empty void, and then the ensigns.
Mm-hmm.
So going through the different officers and non-commissioned officers to see who could fill gaps up above.
Mm-hmm.
I won't necessarily directly do this to engineering or medical because we have dedicated things, but I would prompt them with lists to go through. You need lieutenants, you need lieutenant commanders, or that sort of thing to fill in the ranks and get fast track ensigns that I think are worthy of getting an extra pip or two to act as leaders of the vast amount of ensigns and non-commissioned officers we have.
Got it.
I claim Ensign Ziva as part of my herd.
Cool, that's fine. It's a case of like she's going to be rapidly promoting like the security staff and the con staff and the staff which don't have a direct team leader to, and get a temporary head of each of those departments, and then go, here's my recommendations for promotions out of your two staff. Though one thing she will say with Ensign Zava is that she advises not to promote her, solely because she is out of this time. Having her
Agreed.
be any higher rank than she currently is contaminates the timeline, because that's also them thing I have to juggle. So no matter how competent it is, you have to downplay it for logs and for promotion reasons. Like we can't
I
give her
mean,
medals and that sort of thing.
it's an interesting point, actually. We've sort of just thrown her into part of the command staff, but she's not actually part of your command at all.
No.
She's just there, and we've just sort of just accepted it.
Moment, she was probably like, because she was in the meetings because we needed extra people give us information in those meetings. But it's a case of like the amount of people that know she's a temple agent needs to be limited, and her like presence on the station needs to be limited as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right
not
now,
like she
she's kind of
brings
like
that up
7 of
every time
9.
she speaks.
Yeah.
So
You're right,
You
Alan.
know,
She
really,
is-
right now she's like 7 of 9 because she has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, but she's brand new, and we need to vet her and mentor her, and I would be happy to do that.
Mhm.
Wait, does that make Oberon
I'll keep-
Janeway in this instance?
Oh man, no, I don't think I could live up to Janeway.
I mean, our staff does have a caffeine addiction, so it makes sense.
Give me my coffee, or you will do it.
Oh Lord! All right, I have made a note. Fast track of promotions. I've made a note. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, with that housekeeping done, Twitch stick around because we're gonna raid somebody. But YouTube, we'll see you around. Bye bye, YouTube.